October. You know, see, I'm starting to get my date together. October 20. Oh,
It's end of the month.
end of the month, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The whole song go first of the month. It's end of the month, y'all. This moving fast. Happy Black Panther Party. Happy Black Panther Party month history to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get October Black Panther Party's birth, October 15, 1966. Again, Happy Black Panther Party month history to you. Happy Black Panther Party month history to you. We like to know that y'all for another episode of Afroman Radio here, Intellectual Radio, on the spirit of making history, taking history, and taking history, y'all. Again, we should be like to know on Afroman Radio. We should be also be on Facebook Live as Fred Hampton. We should be on Instagram Live, the official chairman Fred Hampton. The official chairman Fred Hampton Jr., which we want to get altered to the official Dr. Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. We are live on YouTube. On YouTube, hit Chairman Fred Jr., Chairman Fred Jr. That's what it is, y'all. All right, y'all. Y'all can. The weather's still kind of good in Chicago, so you can afford to open those windows and open those doors. Just holler out real loud. The Freedom On Radio is locked and loaded for another episode. Spirit of making history, taking history, and taking history, y'all. Got my coffee right here again, y'all. I'm self-critical. Forgive me. I don't be doing no commercials for nobody, but I just got this coffee. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Grab a little tissue because I want to get no little sniffles. I've been ripping in. All I need is a little bit of sunshine. We think it's summertime out there. And I was in LA one time. And Colored Brothers, they was tripping about the being cold. I said, man, y'all, that's offensive. I said, Chicago, all you need to be a little sun, 60 degrees, well, sometimes 50 degrees. They barbecue a game back in the block party. That's all they need, 50 degrees, and get good to go. So it's October, the weather's still good. Somebody let me know what the exact date it is, y'all. Again, I know in October, on the countdown, things are moving so fast. You come up on the historical day, the 55th year. I be hesitant to use that term, anniversary, acknowledgement. Assassination, Deputy 21-year-old Chairman Fred, 22-year-old defense of Montclair. So y'all start getting y'all tickets, start heading the way for December the 4th, International Revolutionary Day. International Revolutionary Day. Let me get my pen, my tissue. We're gonna get rocking and rolling, y'all. Today's y'all forgive me, I'm looking real unprofessional. Get some paper here. This is every once in a while we had a Black Panther Party Cub and community call-ins. What's on your mind? What's on your heart? You dig? What's on your mind? I know there's a lot of things happening, ranging from the elections, selections. You dig? We gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about. I should begin to call also the African People's Socialist Party. We had guests on a few weeks back, I believe, in regards to the case, and they're gonna get some updates in regards to the case Channel Marshall telling of the African People's Socialist Party in Uhuru 3. I am self-critical. There was a call out on Cam Howard, who really be on the ground in regards to reparations issues. He reiterated that call by getting those letters in for the sentencing in regards to that. What charges were dismissed and what charges the state moved forward with. So we're gonna talk about that. What's happening everywhere? Again, you name it. U.S. aggression. You know what I'm saying? You go throughout the world. Of course, people talking about the politics of the music industry, what's happening, what's been exposed, and even those in different reactionary arenas, the end is being up. People they have to come up more with political analysis. You know what I'm saying? Because again, everything is political. You dig? From crack to chitlins to how was dispersed in our community. You dig? So give me 2 seconds. I think we have to call in. If you don't, y'all don't know the number. 929-477-3785. Give me 2 seconds. Bear with me. Scratch that. Cub with me. Tissue. Okay, we in. Make sure y'all can hear me. So this coffee. Again, this is Freedom Radio. We having the Black Panther Party Cubs and community call in. So in other words, it's open call if you, I also want to put this out too. But again, as I was saying, it's open call for you to call in with your thoughts on different dynamics, different situations that are occurring, saying locally, nationally, internationally, but also so people can say, "Wow, I didn't know this was going on," and we want to put an official call out to all the candidates here, there, and everywhere. Whether you're running for garbage collector, mayor, president of the United States, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, the next few weeks coming up, we want to put an official call that you can call in to Freedom Radio with your position, and we're gonna have some objective the dialogue, and a lot of times people say, well, I can't handle the heat, whatever, but this is not say these are intense times, not just limited to, regard to electoral political field, arenas, but just in general, the type of conversations that happen. So y'all put the word out. And a lot of times people feel they it's an arrogance. They don't have no need to touch down to those in the valley. You know what I'm saying? But you're seeing, and it's being up, and as we say, the last call for alcohol. People are trying to see what's happening with us now. Facebook still got me. I can't see none of the comments on Facebook. They still got me. So I can't see no comments on Facebook. So I don't know. This is some sort of restriction they have me on, what have you. But I can't see no comments on Facebook. Just let people know I'm not ignoring you. I really cannot see any comments on Facebook. And make sure y'all subscribe also to Chairman Fred Jr. on YouTube, Chairman Fred Jr. on YouTube. And if you know what I'm saying, call in if it's something that you want to throw out. And if you know what I'm saying, you feel it's imperative, something we should get in there. I may miss it. Again, I can't see it on Facebook. With that being said, let's come right on the boards. Do we have any call-ins? Do we have any callers in queue? Also, let me forgive you. I talk about 78th and Western. Okay, callers, the calling number is 929-477-3785. 929-477-3785, and you press 1. 929-477-3785, and then press 1. J&J Fish, fishery, fast food establishment on 78th and Western, on the corner of 79th, right before you approach the corner of 79th and Western, we're talking about Chicago, Illinois. Case in regards to the employee the video footage shows him come from behind the counter and gunning down 2 individuals in cold blood. It's been brought to my attention that initially we said it was 2 brothers. Not brothers in biological sense, but brothers in the political sense, or that one of them was a white individual, but another individual, his picture's not being shown, it's not being released yet, which is ironic. But you look at the footage, it's cold and it's callous. How these two individuals were shot. They were gunned down inside the J&J Fish. So we've been going up there, color of the forces, we've been getting word people, touching down. I think there's some mobilizations on Saturdays now in regards to it's right in the parking lot. In fact, we had Freedom Radio right there, literally from the parking lot last weekend. And we gonna be mad at you. You having to call in, make a big order, then you change your mind. So wait a minute, this is the same establishment. The individual was murdered. So there's an ongoing, what we refer to as a people's investigation, still ongoing in regards to what happened. I don't have the exact date, approximately 2 weeks ago, in the lot of 78th and Western. This came back also from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Birthplace and home place of the late great Muhammad Ali, the champ. Also, the location. It should be known for this too. Should be historical marker there. Breonna Taylor was gunned down. Now we hear that word gunned down, we may think that outside, or somewhere, but we've seen the case of Sonia Massey in Springfield, Illinois. And speaking of which, y'all stick with me as I weed through these traffic jams. Sonia Massey, who we've seen murdered, can't recall his name. Springfield P. That murder. I can't recall his name. It come to me, but he's putting up he's presently locked up and he's requesting to be released on bond in Springfield. But as she was in her home, in her kitchen, when she was murdered, Sonia Massey. Breonna Taylor was in her home, in her bedroom, in the bed. Now, I don't say bedroom, in the bed, when she was murdered. And I came to brothers, the brother, who they, in the true American fashion, they tend to flip the script and criminalize the victim. They gave him charges and a whole bunch of things. Now, it's something that's not talked about more, like, how he, to defend his house, his lady, his household. But you don't hear that put out. It's not put out there. That narrative is not put out there. See, narratives impact you. When you see certain things, the brain is something out. How it subconscious and the conscious, and what information you're privy to, the images you're able to see, and is something. I recall some years back when there was a case of a brother had his daughter in his hand around 63rd and Cottage Grove, and he was shot at. And I said, man, that's unusual. I said, I know cats be getting down with each other, but to shoot him, with his daughter in his hand. And it didn't sit right with me. But the media had ran this, and then later it said it was some sort of accidental shooting. It wasn't a plan, but the narrative they had ran was that some guy was really trying to hit him, like with his daughter. And the deal is, when you run into open glass, when you run that toxic water to a mind that their first concept was shooting, that sticks with them. That. And you have to be real careful, with information put out. Your first glass of water, your first breast milk. Where you get it from, it impacts. And what age it impacts you. And like even I'm concerned even now without like just even the toxic information in regards to the music industry. The puffball combs and the likes, and a lot of people, and some people be coming in without any other basis, how that can be, you may take for granted the adult man, or some people, not just the adult man, someone who has some balance of, compass, of, how, men and women, and that's something you can't take for granted, how you deal with humanity. And it takes certain things, it's like food, like it was one thing to come in, eat some hot Cheetos as an adult, but to come in as a child and never had no frame of reference, no meal, and that's your first concept. It's new territory. It's a slate that's open to be, to be molded, and I'm definitely concerned about that because people say, how did you? The questions been brought to me. Seeing your father, seeing Chairman Fred, how does it impact you? Seeing him assassinated, seeing the police carrying his body out. How does that impact you? That's what mind you. I know about the images of Chairman Fred, as a child, going in defense of his older brother when some white boys had accosted him, and this, Chairman Fred as a child, taking some wagon full of bottles and dealing with that situation. I know about him, going up Maywood, challenging, dealing with the contradiction about no swimming pool facilities for black children. See, also, leading large chapter of the Black Panther Party. So you have that. That's your initial contact. You have something to work with. So I just want to put that out there, and especially in these toxic, these toxic times, reactionary times. But also on the other hand, these are necessary. These are necessary dynamics too that have to happen. People say, well, I don't like, only way information is coming out. There's no gift rap revolution. There's no gift rap revolution. There are no perfect allies, and certain dynamics are necessary. And I say that even reactionary forces. A lot of people hear me, talking about reactionary, revolutionary, but reactionary is a necessary element in regards to revolution. I was coming to one of my Central Committee members, our field marshal, the other day, and I was saying, like, revolutionaries, we approach the egg with a certain sense of, concern and care. Like, we don't know, is this a potential chicken or is this egg? What's in it? And sometimes reaction when it comes through, man, not gonna, because omelets got to be made, eggs got to be broken. And sometimes that concern, that care, you can be too cautious, and then you also have to keep in mind what mode of communication some people have been dealing with. And this, I know a lot of people, they're cut from the ilk of, we just approach everyone. And once you give them a book or some green juice or a light of incense around them or some on a bean bag, they can become conscious. But the reality is that you there are certain things that become, how you deal with each other, how you view yourself, and you have to take that into account. And it can be in form of generational damage. It can be in form of, your survival skills. What you can go, it's one thing to go tell some, you talk to certain people, you say, man, no, this ain't how you talk to certain individuals. They like, well, some households, and it's like this skit on Saturday Night Live where everybody was just loud. They said, what is that? It's a loud family. That's how they communicate. And you come in, you talk on a certain tone, and say, whoa. And actually I had to, curb myself. I've been in certain cities. I said, whoa, be cool, chairman. This ain't, the base. I say, man, be cool. This ain't. They don't. You know what I'm saying? It can be offensive. It can rub certain individuals the wrong way. So you have to be, especially as a servant of the people. Especially as a servant of the people, you have to take those dynamics into account. And this, we had certain conversations like what people want to know. I tell people, say, let's come in and let's do this, blah blah blah. But you have to, and you have to take into account. You have to study the situations, take into account the climate, and U.S. imperialism itself. You see, they, at one moment they may have, for example, Colin Powell is Joint Chiefs of Staff. You know what I'm saying? And another time they have a different agenda. They're gonna go a different route. You know what I'm saying? With some form of U.S. aggression, whether we go into Panama, Afghanistan, Iraq, what have you. They say, okay, now we need this black face. Colin Powell would be the Secretary of State, but they still get, what I'm saying. So that's an example of what I'm talking about. So you have to, are you playing to win, or are you just playing to get some, release some energy? Sometimes people are just talking just to convince themselves. Okay, callers, y'all get a call 929-477-3785 and press 1 to get in. Bring them on.
We have a call in queue.
Call in queue. Welcome to Freedom on Radio.
This is Jana, but I wasn't sure if it was the right time to call in, but I was just calling in to get the update on the Uhuru 3.
Well, welcome. Definitely the right time. Right on. Real welcome to Freedom on Radio. To make sure our people, y'all let me know if our listeners, y'all can hear what's going on. I'll briefly open up in our introduction. We're going to get some updates in regards to the case of Chairman Omali Shiteli and the Uhuru 3. So feel free, to bring us up to speed and what's going on.
Uhuru, well, first I want to say good evening, at least, out here on the East Coast. I'm Jana Balamumba. I'm a member of the African People's Socialist Party. I am a Uhuru baby, as it's called. Chairman Omali Shiteli is my grandfather.
Right on. We had you. Okay, okay. Right on. Okay, you. This is your first time online with us either, right?
No, I gave the
exactly.
Update. So
welcome, Black.
Yeah.
Welcome, Black. Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Yes, indeed. For those who may just be coming in, maybe our new listeners or those who may be just newly being brought in regard to the case. You know what I'm saying? So you may get, give us some retroactive information. So, what I'm saying? So who you are. So feel free. I'll proceed. Forgive me for cutting you off.
No, you good. And I want to salute you, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. I really appreciate you letting us come and give this incredibly important update. For those who are
let me interject. Let me interject real. Real right on. And let me say this also. I'll add this too. I'm a former political prisoner, and a continuous thing, revolutionary appreciation to the rural movement in regards to when I was 1991. I was framed, snatched up, and kidnapped, and the work with the Free Fred campaign. I never forget. So I just want to put that also, throw that in there also.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so the Uhuru three, Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. It's this greeting that we use for something to say, to salute and say goodbye. And the Uhuru three are Chairman Omale Shatella, Chairman of the African People's Socialist Party, Penny Hess, who is the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, and Jesse Neville, who's chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And in April 2023, the Uhuru Three were indicted by the U.S. government on bogus charges of being agents of a foreign government because the Uhuru movement, over 50 years of work to advocate for the liberation and unification of Africa and forcibly disperse African people everywhere. So the charges carry prison sentences of up to 15 years and up to 5 years for the conspiracy charge. And so also on September 28, 2023, there was a motion to dismiss the charges, but they denied that motion, went to trial on September 3rd in Tampa, Florida, where we had so many people who showed up. The courthouse was packed. It was incredibly historic. We had illustrators and all types of revolutionary action going on and revolutionary discipline, really. And the charges led to a split verdict in that the state said that they're not, or the jury said that they're not Russian government agents, but it was that the jury was confused, and that's why there's going to be a post-trial motion for judgment of acquittal on the conspiracy charge. And the reason is that the motion lays out these issues. One, the evidence at the trial was undisputed. There was no evidence of direction or control, which is an essential element of the conspiracy charge. Two, the FBI case agents agreed there was no evidence that the defendants had any knowledge of registration requirements, so it's possible that the Uhuru Three could have knowingly and willfully conspired to act as Russian agents. And then three, the verdict is inconsistent. So the jury acquitted the Uhuru Three of being Russian agents. None of the overt acts presented as substantive offenses in the foreign agents charge that could be considered overt acts. So that verdict is inconsistent. Four, the jury was not properly instructed that it must find the elements of the underlying crime to convict on the conspiracy charge. So basically, the prosecutors misled the jury by telling them in closing arguments that the conspiracy is really just a partnership. Five, the jury should have been instructed not to consider evidence against Romain, who was another former member who had been expelled from the party beforehand. They should have been instructed not to consider evidence against Romain as evidence against the Uhuru Three. So we're just getting lumped up in all of this stuff that we had no connection with this, individual. Six, the prosecutors introduced misleading and inflammatory and irrelevant evidence, erroneously telling the jury the Uhuru Three had agreed to build a doxing website with Russian support. And what doxing means is when you take someone's picture and then you tell their personal information
That's doxing, right? The DOX or is it doxing?
Yep,
That's a,
DOX.
yeah, it's a big thing now. Mm-hmm.
So we're saying that the prosecutors introduced misleading, and it's basically they said that we had agreed to build a doxing website with Russian support, and that's completely not true. So that's all misleading, and it's totally irrelevant. So we are saying we need an appeal because this doesn't make any sense to have a split verdict.
Mm.
And just a few more points. The court should not have denied the Groovy attorney's request to add a sentence to the jury instruction, clarifying that simply doing something, quote unquote, at the request of a forged principal is not a crime. Next is the hearsay statement by Popov and other alleged Russian co-conspirators should not have been allowed to be introduced as evidence because we had nothing to do with that, so there's no evidence, no independent evidence of conspiracy. So those statements can be considered as being made in furtherance of the conspiracy because that's like the state is just lying. Then number 9, the court should not have refused the defendant's request to replace the sole African juror with the alternate African juror. There was an African woman and an African woman who was the primary juror, and she showed up late, and when she arrived, they wouldn't let her remain. So it was then an all-white juror. When we made the request, there's a secondary juror. As out of 80 people that they selected, only 2 were African, and there was a man and a woman. So the primary one was the woman, and then the secondary ended up being the man. And we asked that he be put in her place because we wanted to represent, a jury of our peers, at least one African.
Yeah.
And they denied it. And then the government's expert witnesses should not have been permitted to testify because their testimony was not necessary to establish that whatever Russian person was working as an informant to the FSB. So they just did a lot of stuff to convince the jury to do something. And even when I was there in the trial, what I saw was startling because the judge told the prosecutor, listen, you have to be able to prove that they were knowingly and willingly under the direction and control of Russia, which you have not done. So you need to figure out by, he gave some dates, he's like, you need to figure out by this date if you're going to even keep this conspiracy charge because you have not given me anything that is proving this to be true. And that's just some of the basic things. So what we're doing now is since it was a split verdict, that means that there's the potential for there to be no time served for the Uhuru 3. And that's because this charge has never been, they've never used it. There's no sentencing guidelines. They don't know what to do. So what they're asking us to do, this is something that the people can do to help out, is by October 30th, we're gathering at least 500 letters for each of the Uhuru 3. And you can go to handoffuhuru.org/letters or just go to handoffuhuru.org by October 30th. But I just say get on there now. It's going to be a total of 3 letters, and they're going to show the judge why Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Penny Hess, and Jesse Neville must be free. And there's guidelines and instructions. We've got sample letters. We make it easy because you can just click the link and it will have it already pre-filled out, and you just send it there. If you want to handwrite it, you can upload a picture of it, but the easiest thing, it can be a paragraph. And even if you have never met the about the chairman, and yeah, so that's what we're doing until October 30th.
Right on. This the split. You said this is like a new a relatively new a split verdict. It's not like a hung jury, right? There's a split verdict. It's like a different thing from hung jury.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a split verdict. Yeah.
And what is the court? What is the state? What are they saying? What is their position now? Are they saying they was set to go with sentencing on October 30th? Where are they at?
The sentencing will take place at a later date. It was scheduled for November.
Okay.
That's why they extended the letter submission until the October 30th because of Hurricane Milton.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. People, I forgot. No. Yeah, definitely. How did this on the side note too? How did y'all hit heavy down there too in St. Pete? You know the comrades, the people down there hit. They hit Hurricane Milton hit St. Pete also.
Yes, Hurricane Milton was incredibly strong, and we hosted a Sunday rally talking about emergency preparedness in the African community,
yes,
so that we can be prepared because, capitalism got
yes,
the world heating up. They did microwave in the dam.
yes.
And so we we have to not only be prepared, but we have to be prepared to, for the next storm and also
yes,
be prepared to govern.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that, people. Go ahead. Well, when we see even what they refer to as, nothing is natural in imperialism. Even when they refer to as natural disasters, take into account, it's always, even how the media covers it. There's, the disproportionate, the white family or the individual they show, and the analogy can be correlated to say, like, when the white community catches a cold, we catch pneumonia. This in regards to what they call the Great Depression, drug usage. Like people think this big thing that they call the opioid crisis. Saying when it happens in other communities, people can acknowledge certain things, but again, we have to, when we hear about these, even what is referred to as natural disasters, take into account that it hits extra hard with us. And I think about even New Orleans, we refer to other parts of the Gulf area. A lot of people refer to as Hurricane Katrina. We just refer to as Hurricane America. And a lot of stuff that was brought up about have people in the community actually heard the levees being blown up, and you see how the French quarters and other white communities, and you see disproportionately, and how the resources were allowed for them, and didn't even hit them as hard. And sometimes people say, well, just dismiss it as just like so many other situations. Well, that's just the way it goes with the education system. So that we just get the bad part of the stick. But even in the prisons, the jails, there's still accounts of people who have not been recovered. We don't know where they at. And so always when we look at any situation, I know a lot of times imperialism sells this whole thing that it's under crisis. It's time for us to come together and put aside the differences between the colonized and the colonized. We got to come, but always, I don't care whatever it is. Again, that scale, and you have to always take into account the extra hit. When people talk when they talk about drug usage, when they talk about a storm, and you don't see it on the media coverage, but always take that into account. So check on our people. Like even when there was a hearing today in Chicago City Council about the missing women, and what's brother Rabbi Ben? What's brother named? I can't. Just left him in Louisville too. He gonna be upset. I know he watching that. He said, "Jim, how you forget my name?" Rabbi, he pointed out the amount of Kiara Coles and the amount of black women that that are missing, and this is something that I think about. Richard Pryor, comedian James Richard Pryor had this this knowledge. I don't want to say Joe. He did it in a comedic way. He say white people ride through the black ride through the neighborhoods, and they'll see black people with heroin residue around their nostrils, needles stuck in their arm, and they'll say, "Oh my!" He said, "That's a shame." They'll come home and their son sitting on the front porch with a can of Budweiser beer, and they'll say, "Oh my God, it's an epidemic." And the deal is so keep that in mind with the court system. We're gonna say with the contradictions in the music industry, weather. So again, so I'm gonna take that into account. And something else, y'all. So I'm gonna switch the language. Everything is political. So the letters again. I want to reiterate. Conrad, I need you to give the website again, and how, if your concern is you don't know how to write the letter, whatever. It's just laid out where you can go to, and they have the sample letters there, so on and so forth. And they're trying to get this before October 30th. So give us the website again if you can.
That's right. The website is handsoffbahur.org/letters with an S. Or just go to handsoffbahur.org. Do you mind, Comrade Fred Hampton Jr., if I make a statement about Hurricane Milton? Just real quick?
No, please, no. Feel free. Again, feel free. Yes, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, Hurricane Milton struck Florida as with a Category 3. They delivered these categories up to 5. It was a Category 3 storm, and it left some significant devastation in its wake. The death toll reached at least 23, with a lot of the fatalities coming from tree branches and different debris that's falling down. They have, there's significant power outages, and there's tornadoes. And Sarasota, St. Pete, Florida, and the surrounding areas suffered some serious damage. There was severe flooding, and there was a lot of infrastructure collapse, one of them being from a crane that a developer left. So part of even the Tampa Bay Times building, their headquarters, is been crushed because the winds were almost 100 miles an hour and knocked over this towering skyscraper crane. Over 4 million people lost power, and a lot of those rescue operations that they have, they were carried out. They had to evacuate over 500 people, and I'll just say that, a lot of people don't even consider even the indigenous and undocumented communities that come here, and they can't leave, they can't go to the shelters, they're undocumented, so a lot of them do not, they do not do well. So also, when we're talking about this within a colonial construct and looking at it from an African internationalist lens, you start to also recognize a couple of things. One, we already know when there's a power outage, the African community is going to be the last one to get that power back. And what happens is your food spoils, and a lot of, even the gas, the gas, there was no access to gasoline. So if you were able to go somewhere that maybe had power, it doesn't cost you. And the Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, had to eventually open up a few gas stations around the state and just give out 10 gallons of free gas. And you had lines that were just around the block, not even weaving through blocks, so people could get this gas. But then there's another side of the colonial storm that I think people have to deal with. In Sarasota, Florida, just days after one of the biggest by one, like one of them would see another one harassing, and they would just jump in on it. And one of the ideas that you hear, and I heard this from Sheriff Grady, who's in Polk County, the county where I live, and this man said he would arrest his own mother. And he said that if you are thinking about looting, that they're going to penalize to the maximum extent that don't even think about it. So the idea can also permeate that African men and women and children are going to start to come into your neighborhood when into white people's neighborhoods when they think that they're vulnerable. And this is a symptom of the colonial relationship that exists for African people. It's like, first of all, we already are in, the desecrated and abandoned parts of the community, of the city. And now, when a storm comes through, when they always talk about, people always gather together, we just help each other out. Well, this kid is walking around trying to let his friends and family know that he's okay. He can't even do that without being attacked by white vigilantes who serve as the police and trying to maintain the status quo, not even asking this child, if he's okay and what they can do to help. So, there's like a storm surge that happens, during hurricanes. This is like the colonial storm surge of like white aggression and colonial behavior that happens when, and we see the other type of violence, like Hurricane Katrina was a perfect example of how even the government will leave their own, leave us to perish and defend for ourselves. So that's something that we want to organize in the African People's Socialist Party and under the leadership, and through the organization under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, is to protect and make sure that we're prepared for things like power outages and whatnot, for the next year. Because colonial climate change is real. All the gas emissions, and at one point there were even, there was lead in the car exhaust of the early cars going into the atmosphere. So, under their leadership and their ideas, technology, the whole earth going to be microwave. So we have to be prepared to, like I said, for a hurricane or any other sort, like you said, unnatural colonial disaster.
Yes, indeed, right on. And I just want just even reiterate, Sam, what you very well, articulated, and we can't say this enough. It's you ask, because you talk about it, of course, because deal is, it's a battle on all fronts, and they draw that correlation from the courtrooms, to the we don't care healthcare system, to the education, and I know a lot of times people say we're doing tragedy, it's time to put those differences aside, so on and so forth. But it's when it rains, it pours. I'm talking about like literally, and you can look at different cases. You know what I'm saying? In New Orleans, other parts of the Gulf area, even in California, Field Marshal Tohart found the CRC up in California in regards to the earthquakes, and these dynamics. It's like the preparedness. They talk to the community, and even just hypothetically, and I'm going to reemphasize that word, hypothetically, if this system, and it's hard for me to say that, if this system even had a concern for our respective communities, the black community in particular, it's incapable. We have, not that people take that as, it's like, so they see it subjective, like, well, no, we can teach them, like, when the police, they talk about having these racial sensitivity classes. It's not, to acknowledge this. It's a different, different culture. Like I tell people, like, you look at these colleges being exposed to the music industry. You know what I'm saying? You can look at certain dynamics of, are respect to certain cultures. Sense of a certain politics that they adhere to, and how to be able to relate to people in layman's terms, the people can relate to. Whether we're talking about policing, whether we're talking about, healthcare, food, education. I think a phenomenal example in New Orleans. I recall we had to in spirit of Marcus Garvey with the Black Cross, we had deployed some troops down to New Orleans, and what we seen what the media made no reports about was these phenomenal brothers and sisters. They had this in the storm. They had the was it the soul, the soul. Oh man, the soul something. It was forget. It was a soul. These brothers and sisters, and I'm saying this, and I don't had come. They had some issues. They were demoralized. These terms demoralized. Not somebody said with dope fiends or something. No, they had some issues. They formed demoralized. They had literally. I mean, you seen cases and what I'm saying, took on refrigerators and made these rafts and was, it was getting people about New Orleans. I mean, this is like for real. I mean, in the water, they were redesigning refrigerators and make them like boats and rafts. Getting people up out of there. And and this is something that that you see no mainstream, no media coverage about. But this, I mean, but you seen the images. It was like clean buses where they had these golden retriever dogs. Where they were, I mean, like literally clean bus getting these golden retriever dogs up out of New Orleans. You seen where people they were saying people were looting. They were locking up brothers and sisters. I mean, it was cases of getting like bread about at the stores, liberating. You know what I'm saying? And you seen, I mean, they were actually police would come to lock them up. Even the after effects. And I don't talk about this even with storms, because a lot of times with different attacks, excuse me, when with the system attacks, a lot of times we look at it, in a just for that, what's obvious to the naked eye, and don't see what I refer to as the reverb effect. You know what I'm saying? The trickle down impact. And I recall we went back to New Orleans. I was getting an update from my comrade coordinator Chewy Clark. And there was still some homes and stuff that had the X's on them, and they were still finding dead bodies in some of the homes. And a young brother had brought to my attention. He said, "Chairman, what do you? See, you've been coming down here for years. He said, what do you notice different down here now?" I said, "Of course." I said, "You see, man, you can see, saying you still smell like the stench. You can still see the damage of the storm." He said, "No, what else?" And I didn't even notice it until he said, "Man," he said, "What do you?" He said, "What do you hear and what you do not hear?" And with that, it was like no women and children voices. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Wow." And in this particular area we were in, particularly, I remember that area used to be known. We would go there, you know what I'm saying? And you would hear the voices, you know what I'm saying, like a community. And after a while, you don't acknowledge it, kind of like Asada Shakur. Asada Shakur had pointed out in her book, recommended reading also, y'all. Asada, she talked about with being oppressed, you have to constantly remind yourself to be able to distinguish what's normal and what's abnormal. Because again, what's normal and what's abnormal. You take it like in this movie, City of Gods, talk about Brazil. And the guy said, he was kind of hesitant as a child. He didn't want to go on no stick ups, no robberies, no armed robberies. And they can say after the third time, it becomes normal to you. And so it's a certain thing you have to do, like, you know what I'm saying, in survival for certain situations. And it becomes, and I said, wow, I didn't even notice that. So just even how the community, the impact of it, didn't hit the women and children now. And we got, again, even if we are unable to articulate, certain dynamics, we got to know, as Marvin Gaye said, this ain't living, y'all. And sometimes we got to struggle to be able to put in this correct political context. But it's a basic guideline to see certain dynamics, like this ain't, I don't care who this is, this music, whether in the music industry or the court system, what have you. Certain things we have to say, man, we know it ain't right, but again, we have to also up the ante. We have to up the ante to be able to, be very clear. Again, that everything is political, put in this correct political context, and check our emotions, let our emotions check us again, because again, you see, and we get caught up with certain things. A lot of us can't even fathom, including myself. We have to acknowledge that. We can't even fathom the dynamics. I mean, with this system, has, and what it does, and what it's planning to do. I mean, like even with the weather, the HAARP machine, the HAARP, the HAARP machine, the HAARP. Where it exploits certain dynamics with the weather. We've seen cases in Haiti. And this is whether in warfare, this system utilizes rape, it utilizes weather. It takes, let's say exploit, people say, okay, it takes certain dynamics. Like, I use this analogy, the coca leaf. In Afghanistan, the coca leaf was a different dynamic. It was a different dynamic, like a plant. Not like a plant. And it wasn't abnormal to see people like, chewing a coca leaf. This system, how it take, who can even imagine taking a plant, hitting what certain chemical derivatives to hit it with, and even to go to say to create something with crack that actually, this is what their own scientists admit, that the more melanin, in other words, the more darker you are, the more easily addictive you become to this particular this chemical, and we are force fed such fertilizer. We're force fed such fertilizer. I don't even say that. You know what I'm saying? Some shit. You know what I'm saying? They sell us such snake oil that it's like some moral. Somebody's got high. They're a bad person. As opposed to looking at this, you know what I'm saying? Again, how in a war, you had to take into account everything. It was one situation of getting Napoleon. Who they were fighting? It was Russia. I forget who they were fighting, but the French, they had the advantage. But what he did, they did not take into account the cold weather that was going to happen, and you know what I'm saying, and there was a deficiency. So even we had to, we had to look at take certain moves, certain discussions, take into account everything, even including the weather, because this system does not dismiss anything. It taps in, it exploits contradictions, exploits the weather, it studies dynamics. What time? It won't surprise me. It won't surprise me if it came out that the state has some sort of big TV on us, and they lay out and they say, well, this during tax season, they're known to breed more in the community. It was surprised. During the 1st and the 15th, you see they come outside. When you not in it. I recall when I was locked up, I remember coming back on a unit one time and looking from the outside and seeing how we looked to those guards. I said, damn. It was like a zoo. I said, man, how they press buttons, control doors, how we responded to phone rings. I said, wow. And they had a booth where 2 guards were in with 800 prisoners, and it was referred to as the control booth. The control booth. And they would press, you could see how people, I said, man, this is something else. So I know I went on a long thing, but just to get it on my chest, y'all. We live and direct on Freedom on Radio in the spirit of making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. We are traveling. We are talking about, you know what I'm saying, the city council thing today, talking about missing women, but also look, every day on Facebook is this missing. This something we can't take for granted. Also, this ties to discussion about the trafficking of body organs, you name it. We're talking about getting those letters in. In regards to the Uhuru 3, you go to handsupuhuru.org. October 30th is the day we got a right on update. The comrade she just gave us an update and get with us to the letters to if you are technologically not as up to par like myself, so you can write a letter, you can screenshot it, take a picture, and send it in. Send it in. We live and direct, y'all, making history, taking history, y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
Right on.
Yeah, that's right on. I really want to salute you, Mr. Jr., because it's so critical that we get those letters in. The deadline is the 30th, but I want you to do that now. I want you to take the time. It can be as short as a paragraph, but we want to make sure that this state knows that they will not be able to lay a finger on Chairman Omali Shatella without getting through us. And the website is handsoffuhuru.org/letters with an S. And you're right, everything is political. When we're talking about Hurricane Milton and we're talking about not only actual physical impacts of a storm that large sweeping through the state, but the colonial real tension that exists created a capitalistic your comrade was saying that there are no African women, like the sound of the African women and children, but it wasn't just that we were gone, we were replaced. You know,
Yes.
gentrification and all those colonial activities. What happens is that those they use that as an excuse, one, to leave us out to die. When the properties got damaged, for example, here in St. Pete or Tampa, Florida, I'm not exactly sure. This was something that I read in the Tampa Bay Times, and my jaw dropped when I learned this was even possible. So I randomly get a text message to my phone, and when I'm working, I don't always get text messages, and it was from one of my friends who tends to work hard, and I don't always get like random text messages from them. And it was a link to Tampa Bay Times that was discussing the this one apartment complex flooded, and all of the lessees had to evacuate. And when they evacuated, they returned with padlocks on their doors, and every door had a note that was stuck to it that said, "You have 7 days to evacuate." And one of the reason it was sent to my phone is because one of the persons is my friend from high school, and I called them and told them that I read the article, that I read that when they came back, they couldn't even. This was the state making a law that allowed landlords to evict their tenants before they could file for a termination of lease. And it helps them so that they don't have any bad markers on their record for business. But everybody who rented an apartment out of there had their things, not only were they destroyed, but they were thrown out. These are personal items, things that maybe they couldn't get to then, but were going to come back for later. They weren't going to just fix the apartment complex like damages. Then they forced everyone out. And was it 30 days? No, it was only 7. And then they changed it, and so there was a big struggle, so they retained the 7 days. But there is a boost to the local economy when there is a devastating storm. But there's also a fact that many working class African women and men cannot simply evacuate. Also, older African people within our community who can't easily move. And even if they could, they wouldn't be able to afford many of these overpriced hotels who will actually bump the cost of a room based on the days, knowing that they capitalize on as much money as they possibly can. So there is a local economic boost that also happens when neighboring cities receive all of these people who are trying to escape these, quote, unnatural colonial disasters. And that's also, I'm going to mention this, but then Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., I just have one more question for you after this. But what we're doing is on November through the 3rd, the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations is going to hold the 16th annual Black People's March on the White House in Washington, D.C., and there's going to be a West Coast March that's also going to be held for the 2nd year in Los Angeles. But it's going to celebrate not only the recent victory of the Uhuru 3 as a profound achievement for the African liberation movement and just the people of the world in general, but this is a place where, we confront the state, especially with this, trial with Trump versus Harris and, all of the tomfoolery surrounding that. And as a father and son duo with Fred Hampton Sr. and Jr. is because the colonial state, they attacked his father, your father, understanding just how impactful and important he is as a part of a counterinsurgency effort in the 1960s. But now today, we see that happening even with the case of the Uhuru Three. So I just want to invite everyone with thousands of other people from throughout the U.S. and the world to, come again and stand with the Hands Off Uhuru movement and Black is Back. So yeah, go to handsoffuhuru.org to learn more about that. But I wanted to ask you if I could play a video. I have the chairman himself recorded making the statement, the first statement since the conviction and the verdict. Do you mind if we play that? If we can play that, Chairman?
Right on. Definitely. Yeah, let me reiterate this. Definitely bring it. Then don't give us that November 1st and 3rd date again. Then we're gonna play the audio clip. November 1st through 3rd, and I'm gonna say that's in Washington D.C. November.
Yep, that's right.
Also, you just triggered my memory. Also, the indigenous comrades, y'all, they check on the status of them too. At present, I believe they stay in D.C. now. They just can't. They've been traveling throughout the country. Trail of Truth, the Trail of Truth. The indigenous comrades, they've been trying. Y'all, those in Chicago, y'all seen them stop through here. They came. I'm telling. We went to Ground Zero with Chairman Fred defending Lamar Clark was assassinated at 25:30 on horseback. And the present day Rainbow Coalition with the indigenous community, they left. They coming from all over, and amongst other things, they're talking about the recognition of I forget what the Morku. I know I'm pronouncing this wrong. Forgive me. Tribe, the federal recognition of that tribe, and this goes into different dynamics how it impacts their respective communities and the reservations. Also, the case of a long-held political prisoner Leonard Peltier. That's the Trail of Truth addressing that. I've been keeping updated with. They're in D.C. as we speak now. So you just trigger my memory with that. I'm gonna put that out there. So go to Trail of Truth, and also keep updated on the case of so many other political prisoners. Of course, Mumia Abu Jamal, Imam Jamal Amin, Mr. Larry Hoover, Imam Malik, and so many others. And what's I call free them all. Definitely give us let's something else I want to say too. Happy birthday to Brother Golden Child and other folks. But please come right here. Please, you gonna play it over them? You ready to play it now? This Chairman Omar Shatelli. I'm trying to find this.
Yeah, I can play it now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find this.
Now, let's say, can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Yep. Right on.
Okay, good. I want to give a revolutionary happy birthday to Chairman Omali Ishitella as well as his beautiful wife, DC Ona Ishitella. That's October 9th. They both share the same birthday.
Wow.
And also,
right on. Happy.
Director Akile Anai, who was one of the unindicted co-conspirators of the Uhuru Three, but they didn't have anything on her, who also happens to be my incredible cousin, who's also my leadership. She just gave birth to a beautiful Uhuru baby, Katura Zane Brown, named after DC owner Zane. And she was born October 19th, and I just want to give a revolutionary happy Earth Day to my baby cousin. So it's
right on.
You were doing some shout outs. And also,
right on.
Abdul-Jabbar went on and talked to Chairman Omali Ishitella and congratulated him on the case. So, and I also want to say that the African People's Socialist Party, we salute the indigenous community. We stand firmly against colonialism. We recognize it as a domestic colony, and we want to say to the indigenous people, we want to say Uhuru, and we acknowledge the struggles that the indigenous people face. And the resilience that they've shown in defending their land and their culture and their sovereignty against, these colonial settlers. But also, there were the son of Ernesto Bustillos, was one of the founding members of Unión del Barrio. But when the trial was happening, the prosecution tried to twist the words, but it was very clear when they were reading the emails and the transcripts during the trial that when the Russians tried to get us to say, they tried to get someone to accept that we want our own state, and we said no. The African people, we said that we understand that we are on a domestic colony and that this land belongs to the indigenous people.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm going to go ahead and play
this video. Right on. 1 second. One was Colonel who's man, who's in the home of Africa today, who's made leaps and played my sister keep leaps and bounds, the President Rainbow Coalition. We don't say congratulations on the wedding today also. With that being said, we'll come right. Okay, yes indeed. Okay, y'all, we live. This is I play a clip. Chairman Marchitelli live. This is post. This is again. Give us the context again. This is after the verdict.
Yes, this is the first statement after the verdict. This was issued 2 weeks ago. So here. Yeah, and it's gonna start in a second. Let me know.
Okay. Yep. Ready when you are.
Can you hear it?
Yep. I can't hear it. No, I don't hear nothing.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh, no, you don't?
No.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
All right.
Let's see. Maybe perhaps I can send it to you and then you can play it. It's only 7 minutes.
Can you
It doesn't seem like.
How can on the boards? Can they send it to you? How can that work? Okay. Yeah, you just send it to me. Okay, is it possible? I think I get it. Okay, I'm horrible with this technology. Let me see if I can send it to. No. Okay, let me see. Okay, so Instagram, y'all bear with me for a minute. Since coming on the board, let me know if you can play it over the. If not, I'll play it myself right now. If I play it Instagram, y'all have to catch up with it later. I'm gonna try something real quick. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. On our boards, can you play it over the air? If not, I'll play it. I just sent it to you. Just forwarded you just now. Instagram, y'all bear with us, or we say cub with us. We trying something right now. So everybody, so I want y'all to be able to hear also on Instagram. This is a statement. Those who just tuning in. Oh, I see some comments over here. Oh yeah, okay. Someone just come. Yeah, you know what? I just mentioned while you trying to pull it up. Says I'm okay for those comment about the elections. How can I say the elephant and the donkey in the room, the partisan political. The next few weeks, again, you can call in, and cause this is whatever your thoughts in, you know what I'm saying, in regards to this, you know, what is it that the United Nations calls out? Oh, this today? I just sent something about today in the United Nations, okay? But yeah, we're gonna be locally, Oakland, Chicago, Detroit. It's the different discussions that are happening. And let me say something too. Right? Chicago, two times in particular, I really don't like being in Chicago. Freezing cold weather, cold winter time, or during election time. Cause it get cutthroat. Those are 2 times I don't like being in Chicago. I'm gonna say this. I'm talking to the black community in particular now. Listen, whatever you choose, whatever y'all thing is, you know, don't y'all fall out. Don't y'all fall out with each other. Black folks don't fall out with each other, but these white folks system now. You know what I'm saying? So, I know it get real cutthroat. The theme for this December the 4th we're gonna get all the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, stop. When they fall out. You know what I'm saying? Who they choose, and so on and so forth. How they feel about this? The theme and the flyer hasn't been put together yet. December 4th is gonna be the 55th year of the assassination of Chairman Fred, Defense Gunner Mark Clark, and we're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have like the candidates for Hampton and Clark. So y'all, I mean, the 50 is gonna be big. So y'all come on Chicago December 4th, 50. You know what I'm saying? And we on that ballot choice. This is going to be positions such as political prisoners, reparations, the African anti-terrorism bill. You know what I'm saying? Even the pipelines with the indigenous community. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we deserve more of this whole discussion. People talking about choosing lesser two evils, so on and so forth. But whatever you. So y'all get through bumping. You know what I'm saying? December the 4th is International Revolutionary Day, the 55th year after the assassination of Chairman Fred, the 5th of Mark Clark. And we, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about with some consistent political prisoners. You know, some issues that continuously impact us. I don't care if it's election season or not. You know what I'm saying? Because every day is a September 11th for us. You know what I'm saying? We are the OVs, the original victims of terrorism, y'all. So again, December 4th. So